Welcome back to Kaiserpunk, episode 7. We have some negative balances to deal with, but more than just negative balances. Yes, I want to get everything positive, I want everything growing, but first and foremost, we need to look at it in this manner. We have stock. We have plenty of stock in certain areas, and some of those fall into that category of negative balance. We're losing steel, but very slowly. We're losing flour, not so slowly, but we have plenty. So we need to start with what we also lack in stock just as much as a negative balance. So we're gonna address the balance of things here, right the economy before we step into growing the economy another level. Ale suffering the most, along with clothes. We'll begin with that. Added one new brewery, 2 new clothiers. Since we had such a sharp negative balance, we're probably going to have to kind of go down the line and come back and pick things up. And next up is going to be gramophone and newspapers. Well, we're definitely making some progress with a number of new buildings, but then, one leads to the next. Now we need cloth desperately. Gramophones still have a negative, but I think that one was fixable within the building itself. I think I can get us... Oh, where did I put it? This is it. We can change production. The good news is that working balance of negative products has dropped from 10 down to 8. The bad news is we've fixed a lot more than 2 things. It's just trickle down effect, so it just comes down, and adds to the problems. So we've got to just keep working it and build those positives. We do have stock remaining in these guys, so the cellulose, ale, and newspapers are probably the next ones I need to get to first. And we've already dealt with 2 of those once. And for now, the list does get shorter. Another problem I'm starting to run into is we have so much going on that even though there's a lot of depots out there, they don't have enough vehicles. The roads aren't quick enough, whatever the case may be. They aren't able to get to all these different facilities in a timely manner. So there's so many things to address, but we are definitely pushing in the right direction at the moment before we grow and expand and then strain all of these different aspects of the economy once again. Cellulose I just addressed. We'll see if that takes care of it. Production's now at 42, but it looks like we might need one more. I've been running a negative balance in terms of those taxes for a little while. Part of this is just production is behind. I somehow still have a paused building out here somewhere. Oh, the high school? Oh, that's going to help. Not enough electricity. Okay. We're getting close. Newspapers still can't get ahead of it. But food rations. Ale is level, and then lumber now. Okay, we are starting to use up more lumber. We only have 1 for that. I might be able to increase production there locally, quite possibly. So we'll try that. I mean, we've already got a healthy balance. Same with food rations. We're okay. It's the newspapers. That's still a problem. We need a lot of newspapers. I think we're close enough for a short little while to push on, grow, and expand. Some of this is, again, coming down to kind of the road network, the production. We've been adding in more vehicles. There's some other things, cost-cutting stuff we could do because we also have that balance situation. But let's get into a little more military expansion as it's lagging behind here just a bit. So time for some growth. We're going to add in a 2nd battalion. What we need to get into, though, we need a development threshold that will get us into the 2nd tier. So we are going to start producing some higher level stuff and hopefully unlock this sooner rather than later so we can get a more advanced unit on the go, as our current unit, even with a full battalion, has trouble taking land. Speaking of, we need to get back out there soon and continue on with that process. But let's look at the military buildings and see what we can get into. We should probably start producing something like rifles. That's the next tier, right? So we need rubber. We need to get into like the pounder gun, which is steel and brass. We're okay there. Light tank, steel and rubber. So again, rubber. For Navy, we need to get into corvettes, and that's steel, and later steel and lumber for the destroyers. So the obvious thing is we need to make rubber. We need to start producing rubber. We'll begin from there. So another refinery. This one will be focused on rubber. I'm also starting to realize that it's probably time to throw some upgrades like cost reduction. Yeah, running cost. There you go. Some of these more expensive buildings long term would benefit from cost reductions, because we are definitely cash flow negative. Not majorly, but we are cash flow negative. No water tower nearby. Oh, hello. What's this? Ooh, discipline. Attack of all armies increased for 5 days. I guess it's time to get back out there. Let's get that water tower. We did take the Ozarks. We moved back to take Hiawatha. Hiawatha has that garrison. Battalions at full strength. And no surprise, we brought them down to 2. With less damage than what we've incurred previously on that, but we will reinforce. Normally the first attack is pretty devastating towards us. We don't lose any units, but we definitely suffer some pretty massive penalties the first time around. But we do have the Forest Ranger. We do have, good supply. It would be nice to get some experience in this group. Second time around, of course, is much easier than the first, but we still take the loss. I think before we were able to defeat them once. Pretty minimal losses, and we're down to 1. We'll finish them off soon enough, but we've got to wait for them to be ready. Back over here. Okay, crude oil. Stock limit. Iron. Let's see. How are we doing now? Oh, those negative balances looking much better. Juice is running short. All right. Heading in to finish them off without reinforcing. We'll reinforce after. Should be easy enough to finish them off. Wow, we didn't finish them off. Okay. Didn't expect that. We took like no damage. Definitely time for an upgraded military. But we do have rubber on the go, so let's start producing things like rifles. We have the resources for that now with steel and rubber, so rifles on the go here in just a moment. Case of Mesa Verde. There seems to be no defenses. Oh, just a couple regular battalions is all that they have there. So that's going to be pretty easy to conquer. That'll also link us up around the Great Lakes, where just after we'll be able to move back north and claim those Hudson lowlands and push up into the other parts of Canada and then eventually into the Rockies. Let's go ahead and continue right on. This is going to be much easier. Significant advantage. I think this is the first time we've taken the full battalion against just 2 regular militia units, and yeah, not even hardly a scratch. So Mesa Verde is ours. Oh, there's another easy one with the Sierra Nevada. Sierra Madre has a tougher garrison, 4 units. That's going to be a process. What about the Rockies? Oh, there's another easy one. So yeah, we'll claim both of those. All the getting's good. Get all the way to the Pacific. Bit by bit, trying to get these roads upgraded here. Production queue. Oh, vehicle factory. Okay. Well, what can we do? Because we have 44 field guns. We have 290 infantry tanks. Let's get that up to more of a round number. And I think they use 20 per, so having 50 won't necessarily do me much good. We need to make that 16. That'll give us 60. But what else can we do? Like powder gun. I wonder, was that one of our more expensive buildings? Yes, yes it is. Let's go ahead and decrease costs. Yeah, running costs minus 12%. Oh, we need military level 6 to get that one. But other areas have it. Coal power plants. These are a good one too. They have a pretty expensive running cost. Alright, time to expand once again. As we know, these two are vulnerable and should be very quick and easy for this battalion to take those lands. I think we will focus on picking up these easier ones first and foremost. Meanwhile, faction conquests. These guys seem to be having interactions with one another now, and so there are points involved, but none of them have grown. And diplomacy, yeah, we're all pretty neutral there. They are making up some ground on us now. They're starting to take off, just slower than before, but you know, we're coming up on 100k and they're only at 20k. We've got a 5-to-1 advantage over them. We did make contact with a third nation, but we're fairly neutral at the moment with everyone. A growth to our town center. I guess we are close. We got to get to 5k for the next one, but we're further along than I thought. We are 3. So we did push military into level 5, which allowed for the rifle production and the pounder guns, which we immediately got into. So that's it on that. So growing, I think at the moment we might need to get our navy on the go if we're going to kind of push into tier number 6. Oh, but here we go. We do have light infantry available now using rifles, so we will very much get into that. The pounder is also available for our artillery. But we need artillery shells. Oh, we are making artillery shells. We're fine there. Still have a negative balance, by the way, so we are still working towards that. But in the meantime, let's continue our expansion, taking the Rockies. And it looks like all of this is more heavily defended with garrisons. Well, as we've pushed into those new industries, we're looking kind of negative again. A lot of this is minor, though. Most of those are -3 or less. But brass needs to be ticked up quite a bit. Oh, there you go. We've got a neighbor who's not liking us, and he just annexed territory. So finally, the others are starting to grow and expand as well. We will face some competition. All right, well, the danger is looming. We are down to 2.7k in cash and dropping pretty quickly at the moment. I added another depot to try to get goods moving, but we are still carrying some negatives. We've resolved some of them. In fact, cellulose just took off. Newspapers, bread, food rations, but we have some stock for everything, so we're not empty. Paper is kind of the one that's low, but now we're making progress on that. We've got to bring more people in. I'm just nervous about getting into kind of that danger zone of too many people unemployed and then running into some big problems there. There we go. It's a positive balance. We're going the right direction. I just fear for the number of unemployed all of a sudden. But we've not had any issues for a while. We certainly do have police stations as well to deal with whatever comes of that. Fire stations have been taking care of the fires because they do happen. Still dealing with local stock issues. A lot of places getting full and then shutting down production, and so then I go in and check the balance and the balance is off. And it's always hard to tell which one is which, but we're growing rapidly all of a sudden. Okay, so finances are looking better. Yeah, I couldn't get enough fruit a second ago. Now all of a sudden we're full. Water supply getting a little bit low. We'll need to deal with that soon enough. But checking in on our 2nd Battalion. Still waiting on rifles. So the rifles are only coming in so quick. It's going to take a while to get them up and running. And I'm wondering if we can upgrade some of these guys. Replace them over time with more regular units. Well, get a courthouse. Some new buildings. I think we should put this over here. Oh, right back into the negative cash flow, of course. Okay, we are going to put a tax office in on our main location, increasing the taxation on the region population, effectively reducing region upkeep. It's got some upfront cost, but it's a well worth upgrade to what we're trying to do here. And bringing that 1st Battalion back over to the Great Lakes so that from there we have a shorter resupply route, and then we can start working on those Hudson lowlands. Slowly but surely. So checking on our population statistics, our total population right now is 3.7k. It's not much. That's not much. But our laborers amount for a big portion of that, 2,500. Immigration is still increasing, but there's unemployed, right, making them less happy. But we're at 89%, the unemployment accounting for a good chunk of what's missing there. But they're happy. The manufacturers are happy. The taxes is just 5k from those laborers. It's also 5k from the manufacturers. They're at 85% on their morale. Here's where it gets a little bit trickier, and these are the groups I need to be careful with: the technicians and the specialists. Yes, we have immigration, but they are very upset with the unemployment rates, and so it brings their morale down to 61 and 50% respectively. That is the concern. So if I need more taxation, I need to focus on those laborers and manufacturers. But speaking of, how are we doing on... I don't think our 4 days is up just yet. Well, at least I hope it's not, because that tiny tick in from maybe a slight negative to a slight positive is not what we're hoping for there. I do think we still have more time. 4 days has not gone by just yet. Now, the obvious expansion route is military, right? We are still lagging behind there. We've got it up to level 5 from level 4, so it is progressing. We have more to do, but we're kind of still just getting started there. It's civics at level 7 and morale at level 7 that are the other two, and morale is hurting a little bit right now. So the telephone's available to us. Maybe that's something we need to begin producing. Fine garments, okay, silk cloth, silk farms, and dye. Maybe that's where we need to get into, is start producing some fine garments. We do have a radio station, at least one anyway, but we're not making radios. Rubber and copper for radios. Plastics we have not done for the telephone, but yeah, we could do radios. Let's get radios made. I need to add another depot down here. Clearly what we have for this one is not handling the region, and the second one there is not handling the region. I think both of them have upgrades. Yes, let's go ahead and do the cost upgrades here as well. Okay, well, the improved roads, we're almost keeping up with these guys. Empire of Spice doesn't like us. I don't mind. I do not mind. As far as I know, we are well ahead of them. There we go. Okay, they are caught up, and we are starting to produce the radios, and there we go. Okay, I think our 4 days might be up. Maybe? No, I don't know. That is still only just barely a positive. I don't know what kind of tax increase that would amount to, but it would be inconsequential, I would think. Another fire. There's our world map upgrade built. Just ticked in while we have a fire that's apparently spreading. Yeah, no sign of any actual tax gain there. We've got quite a lot of citizens to not be actually gaining any tax. Ooh, we've unlocked the vineyard for grapes. The silk production we haven't even started yet. We now can do algae as well. Well, silk we already know. That was the next one, and I know what we can do with it. So let's go ahead and... Okay, that demand on food rations is slowly getting worse, but the newspapers one is what we need the most. Quartz, that's a long-term shortage that we need to resolve as well to make the glass. So let's get a quartz mine and more newspapers. Again, you know, I think I'm producing more than 36. I think this is more about the cycle. Oh yeah, there you go. We had damage. We had a fire up here. Oh, negative balance on water. Let's go ahead and take care of that. And I think added a fire station in locally. Happened to be here when this took off. The first building got pretty wasted, but the fire engine got going in time to at least take care of secondary building that caught fire. Alright, we're back up to plenty of water. Electricity running a little low. Cash 10k. Laborers will help. Let's get... Oh crap, we don't have money to make a high rise. Yeah, we're definitely playing with fire on this one. Speaking of playing with fire, attack. Now these guys are not going to be easy. This is going to be one of those processes. They have no garrison units. They just have the 3 bunkers, and we took care of one. We have completed our very first regular light infantry unit. The second one should be done here fairly soon. So we're not too far away from them being ready to contribute. We of course have a lot of stock that's just full. Now an additional warehouse could help with that, but an additional warehouse comes with cost, and right now cost is just something we are struggling to keep up with. Well, now that we are producing crude oil and a lot more cellulose, a plastics factory is going to make a lot of sense. As much as I hate to do it with 2 others nearby, we need another depot for this area. We're just not keeping up with the demand. And suddenly we're back into the negative. More manufacturers would be possible. Let's go ahead and get them. And that helps with the balance a lot more, but that is going to make things a little bit trickier with those manufacturers in the short term. I've made a lot of progress on upgrading roads. We have lots and lots of proper paved roads now, but it's that concrete that's necessary to try to keep up. Oh, there we go. That really helped the balance, at least in the short term. We're looking pretty good there. We've got to worry about trying to keep these guys happy once again. And definitely getting these 2 happier. Back out to that world map. Let's go ahead and take another hit on these guys. They'll be taken down relatively soon. And again, we have total control. Well, we don't have complete control, right? But we have the full contingency in order to control the Americas ourselves and then come on with others. Now, we are technically hostile and at war with these guys, and they are the only other ones expanding besides us. If we take a look at... We know a lot of regions out there now. That's minor, but you can see that we've got kind of a border there. So human player here, or AI player. It was Sichuan province, which I don't know, somewhere right about here-ish is where they would be housed, but yet we know them. Empire of Spice, there you go. That's them. So there's our enemy. They seem to have additional regions back there. If anything, you'd want to come into like Southern Arabia and move your way in. There is Navy. We have seen Navy on the go. So that seems to be one of our next targets, right? As we control a very, very good chunk of North America. Certainly not all. But we're getting into just those upper regions of Canada before we have the northernmost parts. Of course, we'll still need Central America and South America, but the expansion certainly has continued. I mean, we've already added in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more regions this time, but we're still going to have, that and more to finish off Canada and Alaska, and we're going to need, this, that, and the other thing. So getting a Navy, it's time. It is time for that. But the core of our city is doing well. We are keeping up more or less with balances. We do keep triggering new negatives, but we have at least some sort of supply. We're only losing so much at a time, and we keep offsetting the losses that we are taking and seeing it grow. Meanwhile, we do finally have a kind of healthy balance that's increasing rather rapidly, but the one concern is we have a lot of unemployed to make that happen. I've been cutting costs here or there wherever I can over time. We've been upgrading roads wherever we can, so we are definitely pushing into a new age. And speaking of new age, right, our military has done the same. So we're looking now at 2 units complete, working on that third one. And then we should have our first artillery unit soon. So this battalion should be able to deploy before too long. Now, how much more effective are they? Well, I don't know just yet. We're looking at, some damage, right, versus land, naval, or aerial. Wow, that pounder gun. Wow, that's a big advantage in how much damage it inflicts, including versus naval, but a 1 to 3 versus a 2 to 4. So it's definitely a bit of an increase for the light infantry, but we'll have a couple field guns in this unit. We'll have a couple infantry tanks in this unit, and we're definitely building a bigger, stronger battalion. And those 2 battalions, I would think, should be able to hold the Americas and take the Americas. We are going to need to build up a navy. And I don't know if we need to push straight to Saudi Arabia. I mean, maybe we push into Europe and start from there. We do have enemies in the world now, so there is competition. And speaking of how we're looking on those balances, Empire of Spice is now number 2 behind us, and they are growing rapidly. They are making up some ground. However, we've gained almost 50k to them double their 19 to 37k. In terms of, diplomacy, it's just us that they don't like, and they have grown, and they're not the only ones. Okay, the Siberian tribes have grown by 1 as well. Definitely leading the way, but it's not done deal. This is not a win yet. We've got to watch out. Last time when we had our quick playthrough, they grew rapidly. We are outpacing them still, but only just. So for all we know, they could be gaining fairly soon. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm a Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.